Okay, with me now is Neil Skidmore, who has got a long title at the club which he's going to explain to us what it actually means. So Neil, fire away.
So under one tier it's performance coach. Within that there's a few roles, so there's analysis, there's partly nutrition, there's some strength and conditioning, fitness coach, warm-up coach, rehab coach that we do the physio, so there's a lot that entails in all the different roles.
Yeah, we've seen you in action this morning and putting the players through quite a rigorous workout. Is that a regular thing that you do every training session, Neil, or is it just on a certain day?
Yeah, we try to rotate it, so this week we haven't had the Tuesday game. It's a little bit harder when we have the Tuesday game, obviously, just because the load that the players are put under. So normally if we have a nice week like we have this week with the Tuesday training session was quite hard, so they lifted a lot of weights on the Tuesday, so some of them are pretty sore today. So today, more than anything else, we're just getting a bit of movement back into them, getting the legs going again, using muscles that they didn't use when they were lifting the weights, and then more than anything else it's a little bit of proprioception too, so the speed, agility, quickness drill that you'd seen outside, and then the band work that they were doing was to work knees, ankles, but of core stability too whilst they're running through it. So it's not too rigorous. That was probably one of the easier ones that we've done. They do harder ones, yeah, they do a lot harder than that, yeah. So that was pretty short, that one, just to get them going again more than anything else. Sometimes they can run for 30 minutes with different sprinting drills in between, or different stretching, you know, whatever they feel like they need. So the stretching that they started with is the normal bit. We'll do some band work normally, then we can do some proprioception work indoors, or today like we did it outdoors, then we do normal band work as well, and then we can do some sprinting.
I've seen a lot of players with this band work at the moment. Is that something new that's come in recently? Cause I've not seen it for a while.
Yeah, you get it at different clubs, different fitness coaches, different sports scientists, whatever you're looking at, they use it in a different way. So we mainly just use it as a bit of glute activation to get the muscles firing in a loose sense, because they should be working anyway when they go out on the pitch and go through a proper warm-up. But more than anything else, yeah, you can get it to strengthen little parts of the muscles. We get it to get them warmed up to make sure that the glutes, the hamstrings, the quads, they're all working and warm before they go out, before they get into the main stuff. Essentially it's just a good stretching tool. So, you know, if you imagine trying to kick with a bit of resistance against it, it's that type of thing. It's nothing major. It doesn't put any loading under them, but if you do the workout yourself, you know you're feeling all you do to do. Good.
You know, when you said about performance analyst, what does that actually involve? What is a performance analyst? How do you analyse a player's performance?
Well, most of that is dependent on the manager. So Liam isn't too geared around that. So what we've done most of the time this season is Liam gets the game scouted by a couple of scouts that work for the club as well, and then what I then do is clip up the footage based on what the scouts have said. So if they work a specific free kick routine, if they work a specific corner routine, if the goal kick is always to the same man, if they go through a centre mid at different times of the game, if they look to release the right back more so than they look to release the left back. So you're watching videos of the opposition and then... Yeah. So we have to upload our video in order for the referees to be assessed, but from that standpoint we get the footage of everyone else. So we can then download everyone else's last game. So this week, Bradford Park Avenue, we've had the footage done on them, and then from there we either show the lads as a group or we send it out individually, so different players get different clips of the person that they'll come up against, or you know, the way that the team attacks. So centre halves, if they've got to defend a corner, or if the forward's quite quick, or what he tends to do, if he moves left, if he moves right, that type of thing. And then that's before the game, so then we film the game on a Saturday, and then from there we then break it down. So I have two interns that come in of a Saturday, both from John Moores University. One's Joel, one's Gaz. You'll see them walking out, you see them up in the gantry, you see them filming. So what they then do is we all break the game down a bit further after that point. So most of it depends on whether we win or lose. You win a game, the performance doesn't need analysing, we've won, you know, we leave it as that. But you lose a game, the onus changes a little bit, so then we look at how we got beat, whether the team were more effective than us, if it was set pieces, what we did wrong on the set pieces, if we were too deep, if we were too high, if we got caught out trying to play the ball too much. There's a whole host of different things that we do, and then what I've tried to do with the analysts to try and teach them is to break things down individually. So different players' touches, good things that the players do, bad things that the players do, and then we just try and feed it back as and when we can to the players to give them a better understanding of what they do, because you see things differently on the pitch, you then see things differently on the sideline as a coach or a manager, and then from the gantry level you see things differently as a spectator too. So everyone has an opinion on what they do, and it just depends on what you take out of the footage.
Quite a wide role then, isn't it, that one?
Yeah, there's a lot. They're all quite wide, so you know it's not just sat on the bench, and it's not just doing warm-ups. You know, I've got to make some protein shakes in a second because the gym warm-up was that excessive on Tuesday. Some of them have got DOMs within the 72-hour period that they would normally get at, but in order to get them right for the Saturday, we then give them some protein. Saturday comes, they have the same again after the game, so the protein shakes get mixed during the game, and then they get put in ice baths after the game in the dressing room. Ready for
I bet they enjoy that one.
Yeah, they do. They get used to it, so you get a few arguments, but you find if you do it in the summer when it's warm, by the time the winter comes, they forgot how cold it actually is. So they're used to it by then, so they think, oh, it's warm weather, I'll jump in the ice bath. So yeah, it's not too bad, but we tend not to do it on the colder nights, so throughout the winter we'll sort of stay away from it, and we don't do it after training anymore just because they don't really need it.
You're not totally krill then?
No, not yet. Ideally I want to get this place changed so that we can put ice baths inside, and at that point they will be getting ice baths quite a few times.
I bet you will love watching them do it, don't you?
Up until that point I won't be too happy.
Okay, a bit about Neil the person. You've been at the club, I seem to remember, about 5 years now, on and off. I think you came as a student?
Yeah, so the same thing that I've took students in since I've been within the role I started out at. So when Paul Carden was here, I started in the role. Just stuck about ever since, and it paid off. You know, the changes that the club's gone through, which have been massive behind the scenes, massive for the fans, massive for everyone involved in the club. You know, that's not to go against any of the old regime, which you know kept me about and give me the much needed experience that I was after. Stuck about, went through the interview process last summer, was successful in getting the job. I think the fact that I'd worked with Liam when he was director of football, and then when he got the manager's role and then went back to director of football again after a game or two, I think that sort of helped me out because you could see what I was like with the players. You could see, you know, what I could do, what I was weak on, what we could improve on. So then after that point, you know, everything sort of just snowballed and escalated. The role is ever changing. There's always something new that we can do. Like Stefan, when he came into America, I was a taxi driver for a few months because he was stuck without a car, as you would do when you went to a new city. So you know, it's not just you know, there's a lot to the role, and it always seems to change. So when I first come in under Paul, I was just doing a notational analysis just of the game. So we would look at headers won and lost, or free kicks won and lost. You know, where we'd lose the ball most of the time, what we were doing more that we were losing out on, what we were doing that was successful, and then from there, you know, it just kept escalating. So Dino started to add new things. Dino was very demanding in his role and what he wanted. And then with every manager after that, it changed again. With Bish, it changed. With
I suppose you have to have a close relationship with the managers to know what they want, because, like you say, different expectations from different managers.
Yeah, there's a massive different expectations from everyone. It's not just the manager. You know, the physio has different things that he wants to do. Maka has different things that he sees that he then wants to do. So it's more than anything else. The past 4 years, whilst I was volunteering, the best thing for me was being able to adjust to the different people that, you know, as bad as it was, kept coming and going. And I think there's 10 managers, 10 assistant managers since I've been here, so
all with different ideas.
Every one of them with different ideas, different philosophies, different styles of play, different players. The year we went through 50 players, I got to meet 50 new people. You know, that's the type of thing to it. Last year we went through 40 players and getting 40 new people. Kev Davis, ex-pro, played for England. Highest level you can get as a football player. You know, that brings different personalities, different things that you want to do, different things that
but you could learn from them as well, I suppose, couldn't you?
Yeah, and not, you know, it's not just learning, it's meeting people that they then know at the same point. Like Liam, I don't know whether you've ever spoken to him about football, but he knows everyone.
Now and again,
Everyone at lower league level, you can talk to him, he knows what someone done on Saturday and he hasn't even watched the game, he knows them that well. So learning what he's like, what he wants, what he drives for, what he wants the lads to do, what he wants me to do, what he expects from everyone around the club. You know, that's massive. That's probably the biggest part of the role. Like, I've learned how to do strength and conditioning and everything that comes with analysis and nutrition parts of it at university, but you know, the main part of the role more than anything else is putting what I know and learning what Liam wants to do and putting the two of them together and trying to get that married together to be able to build something that's effective. And I think, especially after, you know, the first 10 games, which are a bit hard, I think that's sort of come on leaps and bounds in that time frame. We got some new gym equipment just after that point, so you know, the training was a bit harder, which Liam wanted. His physical teams, he wants them to run, he wants a good press, but then at the same point Maka wants the teams to play, he wants some nice football at times. You know, there's some parts where it doesn't look that nice, but you know, it's a specific point that we've worked on, that we've seen in the footage. So you have to adapt, and you have to do different things that a lot of different people want within the football club.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.
Not a problem.